Hi, everyone. My name is Galit Meirov, and today we're going to be talking about the 3 different activities that can help when children worry. So let's just jump into it, and we'll start with the first activity that is called In My Hands activity. And in this activity, it really helps when children are stressed or anxious to ask themselves, is it in my control, in my hands, or is it not in my control and not in my hands? So the only material you need is a paper and some colored crayons or colored pencils. And so you'll explain to your child, this is the hand model by Dr. Dan Siegel. And he says that basically this is our thinking brain, right? It's the part of the brain that organizes and that makes good decisions, right? The part of the brain that says, hey, this is a good idea, right? And in this part of the brain, this is where we regulate. This is where we make really, really good decisions. And what happens is when kids are worried or they have really, really scary thoughts, that part of the brain flips, right? They flip their lids. Have you ever heard that term? So they literally flip their lids and they're in their limbic system, in the fight or flight mode. And so when they get in the fight or flight mode, their thinking part of the brain is offline, right? Because if we run in the street and we see a car, our limbic part of the brain needs to run, right? It needs to flee out of there really fast. It doesn't have time to think, should I run this way or that way? It just flies. So we don't have time to make that assessment. So when children have really scary thoughts, they're in this part of the brain. And we want to help them slowly bring coping tools and calming techniques back. So we're going to help them create that organization in their brain. So you take this paper and you tell them to trace their hand and you ask them, what are your worries? So, what's in your hands? Let's think about it. Is weather, like some kids are worried, I have a flag football game tomorrow and it's supposed to rain. Is it in my hands? No, it's outside of my hands. So we put it outside. Is illness, death, not in my hands? We're putting it outside of my control. It's not in my hands. There's nothing I could do about it. What about getting ready for school? That's in my hands. What about my attitude, my behavior, the way I handle things? My control, right? What about war? Not in my control. Out. Getting invited to a birthday party? Not in my control. Kids liking me? Not in my control. Saying sorry? In my control. So you ask your kids, what is it? What are the stuff that are worrying you? And then you start putting them in here. If it is in their hands and they could, control it, and outside of it, if it's God's or other people's business, right? Then we tell our kids, well, what helps you cope when you have these scary feelings, when you're flipped your lid, right? And, some kids like sensory toys, right? Slime, Play-Doh. So we'll write down slime and Play-Doh. Weighted blankets, right? To put that weighted blanket just to calm ourselves so we could slowly bring back, right, our thinking brain online. Breathing, different breathing techniques. Kids like all different stuff, right? So that would be one. Doing yoga poses, very fun and very, very relaxing. Some kids love to shower, or some kids love to jump on trampoline. That's another one. So essential oils are great. Just putting a cotton ball next to your child when they're having those worries, it really, really brings back that relaxation mode and brings our thinking brain online. Okay, so that's the first activity. The second activity is very, very similar. And basically, you're going to ask your child, whose business is it, right? Whose business is it? So we have Hashem's business, we have other people's business, and we have my business. And basically, Pesach's coming up, right, mommies? We're all like kind of freaking out about it. It's coming up, and Pesach starts with a seder, and seder means order. And we have to have order in our lives because that's the beginning of freedom. So I'm going to give you some ideas today to make order in your child's brain. And that's where freedom begins, when they can actually say, okay, where is it Hashem's business? Is it other people's business, or is it my business? So you take 3 bowls. You could take bowls, you could take shoe boxes, or you could take whatever works. It doesn't have to be Just very simple. And you write down all your child's worries in papers. And then you tell them, let's put it into the right box. So other people being kind, other people's business. War, Hashem's business. Past mistakes, the past is Hashem's business, not my business. So a lot of kids feel guilty. I did that. Hashem's business, not my business anymore, right? Being kind is my business. So my actions today are my business. So that goes in my business. Doing homework, right? Kids are very worried about tests. So I'm going to do my effort and I'm going to do my homework and study for my test. And the result of what I get is Hashem's business, right? So my grade is going to be Hashem's business. I'm going to do my best. Asking for help, my business. Apologizing, my business. How I respond, right? My business. Other people forgiving me. I could say sorry, right? But if they forgive me or not, their business. The weather, Hashem business, right? We can't control the weather. All we could do is go out and put our rain boots and jump in puddles, right? But we can't control the weather. Illness, a lot of kids are scared, especially because of COVID. It's not our business. We're going to put it in Hashem's box. Who loves me? Does this girl like me? Does this boy like me? Will they invite me to a party? Other people's business. Making decisions, my business. Studying for tests, my business. Setting limits is a big one that we want to teach our kids. That is my business. Saying no, it's okay. It's my business. Death, Hashem's business. Who likes me? Other people's business. How other people treat me? Their business. My height, right? Hashem's business. My hair color, Hashem's business, right? So we're going to start to really, really organize the brain and ask whose business is it? And when we make seder in our mind, we really, really, really start to have inner peace. So the last activity is really fun and kids love it. Basically, you get a shredder or you can get a scissors, or even if you have a fireplace with the older kids, you could just throw it into the fire. And you just teach kids thoughts are not always true facts. Just because I have a worry doesn't mean it's true. So you take the shredder and you take all your children's worry and you ask them, which worry are you ready to give away, right? Which worry are you ready to let go of? And some worries, the kids are going to say, well, I don't think I want to give that worry away because it helps me. So maybe worrying if I wake up tomorrow because I have to be in school on time. I'm going to keep that worry because it helps me wake up in the morning. It helps me organize. It helps me make sure I have that alarm on. So I'm going to keep that one, right? But illness, that's just always on my mind. I'm always scared and I have no control. So I'm going to be shredding that one and I'm ready to let it go. And it gives such empowerment to children to be able to just get rid of it, like just to physically do it, right? I'm just willing to take that power back, that power over my worry brain. So just shredding it. It's a huge one and kids love it. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you like this video, like it, share it. And if you have any questions, please share them with me.